Welcome to my channel, and in this video I will continue to talk about all my colored pencils. After I got my Prismacolors and Polychromos sets, for some time I was a totally happy girl. I was sure that I don't need anything else, any new brands, any new sets. It took me some time to get used to Polychromos pencils, and as I said, I was totally occupied and happy. Then happened those Arteza pencils. Maybe you remember their very active promotional campaign when they contacted, I think, every blogger on YouTube and they sent their goods for promotional purposes. They also contacted me offering their products. Then when they realized that I live in Ukraine, they said openly they are not interested in bloggers from such countries. Okay, I decided that I can purchase their set by myself, and in such case I will be more free to give my open and more clear opinion honest opinion about their pencils. So I purchased their set of pencils. It was that set of 120 pencils, professional one. I think that it was their first and main product. And I was very impressed by those pencils. Price was lower comparing to Prismacolors, and from time to time they had very nice discounts, especially on their own Arteza site. Arteza site was the second reason why I don't like Arteza as a company. My gouache products I purchased directly from their sites because they had very nice discounts, and they had a nice program for loyalty points. You do purchases and you gather those points, and I participated. And then one day they simply closed access to their sites like Arteza.com for international customers. When I and some other people from different countries, we contacted them on Facebook, they said, "Oh, sorry guys, indeed we closed access to Arteza.com because we had some problems with bots and some other problems, but you can go to Amazon, purchase our products there, forget about your loyalty points," and so on. Now I think that they reopened their access, and it was the moment when I wanted to purchase their felt tip pens. I purchased Ohuhu product instead of Arteza, and I was completely happy. So Arteza as a company, I don't like them, but their products, I do love them. So Arteza professional pencils. When I got them, I was impressed by their very highly pigmented and colors and their brightness. I don't have any problems with the quality. I know that some people had problems with breaking cores and some other things, that core wasn't attached nicely to the wood. Again, I was quite lucky, no problems at all. Here I have all my Arteza. I put them into this box. Not a very good pencil case because they are in 3, and this very huge rubber thing, it covers the name on the pencils, but you know, the beauty of the cover, it was much more important for me at the moment. So I put them in this case, and you can see that some of them are quite well used. I especially appreciate their green colors. I think that available natural looking greens, which you can use for the leaves, for the grass, it's one of the most important criteria for me when I look at the new set of pencils. And here I really love many of the green colors, and I use them quite often. Blue greens also are good, purple violet, light blue colors like this one, I absolutely love them. And dark blue, surprisingly to find nice dark blue also is a little bit challenging, so midnight blue here also is good. It's one of the few sets where you can find cold and warm grays in big variety, and you can clearly see the difference between colder and warmer range of pencils, so their grays also are not bad. I know that there was a huge hype on YouTube regarding their that they are water soluble. For me, it's not so important because maybe it's because of my technique that I don't drop anything wet on top of my pictures colored with pencils. Yeah, I keep in mind that you can have this problem, that even they are marked as professional, that some of the sets, especially the first one, they can be dissolved with water and they behave like watercolor pencils. But as I said, for me it's not a big problem, so I don't care about this one. I don't use any of their metallic pencils, but it's again the same thing for all my sets. Somehow I don't know how to use them properly. I don't like how metallic pencils look on the white paper. On black paper they look a little bit grainy, so maybe I need to practice a little bit more, because indeed they have a couple of nice, this metallic blue and this how it's called, interesting, like lavender, it's unicorn purple. Yeah, interesting color, but I have to think how to use them. Well, so I was impressed by brightness of this set and by the pencil range. Here they are. I started to use them first in Dennis Klett books. You can see that colors, they are very bright and they are indeed quite suitable for the fairy tales illustrations, for the pictures from Tatiana Bagema, from Dennis Klett, where you require such extremely bright primary colors. And on this paper they behaved really well. I think that this was my first page which I did with Arteza. I loved how they blended. I realized that on some of the papers, especially if paper is relatively smooth, after a couple of layers, they start to create this waxy shining. When you color it in real life, it's not a big problem, but somehow when I film, especially on the dark colors, under electric light, this waxy shining, it doesn't look very attractive. And also with my Prismacolors and with my polychromases, it doesn't matter for me. Do I start to work first with light colors and then I apply on top of it dark color, or I do gradient from dark to light, I still can get nice and smooth gradient from light to dark. With Arteza I realized that sometimes when I apply a light color first and then on top of it I apply intermediary color, then dark color, it can be a little bit dirty. So maybe just 3 layers maximum, and it's better to plan your coloring carefully, because if you start from beige, then you apply brown and you are not happy that this brown is not dark enough. You select darker brown, you try to use it, and that's where you can start to have some problems with layering, blending, and it can be dirty. So you have to test pencils more carefully and to be sure which shades and which contrasts you need to use on the paper. But as I said, as a set with nice and some of the unique colors, I was quite impressed with them, and especially now when they started to sell their pencils individually, I definitely will purchase some of the colors which I use quite often, like green colors. Here I have jungle green, one of my favorite greens, and a couple of other colors. So I use them here, then I use them sorry guys, here they are. I started to use them on my printed pictures from Tatiana Bagema books. First, everything went very well. You can see that with their brightness and rich colors, they are perfect for this slightly children's fairy tale style illustrations. And my first paper, it was really good for Arteza, they blended well, so I was happy. Then somehow I printed my next bunch of pictures on slightly more smooth paper, and here they glided over surface and waxiness was much more strong. I started to be disappointed in those pencils and I put them aside for some time, and I think that maybe for a year they were not very frequently used in my coloring. But recently I started to use them more, and I realized that if you use them carefully, if you don't need a very complicated layering, but when you need to cover big areas of object with some dark color and don't have those white spots, you can use them. Even on the thin paper in fairy tales, what I mean, here I have this tree. I used couple of Arteza shades. I applied probably just one layer, but with their brightness and highly pigmented, I was quite able to quite quickly do this tree where I don't need complicated layering, and I saved a lot of my Prismacolors. I think that if I would do this with Prismacolors, I would run out of my light amber, dark amber very quickly. So I decided that it's better to spend Arteza, which I don't care much about. So if they finish, okay, but with Prismacolors, I treasure them a little bit more. And I was happy how they behaved here and here on the airs. I do love that they have quite nice ochre, airs, cinnamon, ginger colors, beautiful shades. But again, here you start to see that after I applied those first light layers, and as I got used, I started to apply dark color to indicate shadow beneath the legs of Aladdin. Here it started to look a little bit like dirt. I wasn't able to apply more than 3 layers. So you have to think about it and you have to be careful. But still, it's just a matter of to get used to these pencils. And recently I think that we have the second love with these pencils, because I discovered that they are perfect on the paper of Herb Leonhardt books. You know that when I got these books in Legend Nouveau, here I have it. I tested almost all my pencil brands, starting from Polychromos, Prismacolors, Mitsubishi Uno, and I realized that Sucolor and Arteza surprisingly are one of the best. With these cheap pencils you get the best coverage and they blend on this paper like butter. So with all my recent experiments here, this one, and this one, I was absolutely happy how Arteza worked here, and I definitely intend to use in all my 3 Legend Nouveau, Fantasy Nouveau and Dragon Nouveau books Arteza pencils. Sometimes I love to add some other colors. Sometimes I need more light colors, so I use Prismacolors together with Arteza and they work well. Sometimes I need to darken them a little bit. And on some of the papers I realized that I can't use my polychromos, black polychromos or dark sepia, which I usually use for shading, on top of Arteza. They glide, they create dirt. Unlike when I work with Prismacolors, that was unusual. Quite often I do picture with Prismacolors. I feel that in some of the areas I didn't make enough of the contrast, my shadows not strong enough, and I simply grab one of Polychromos, sepia or black, and I work on top of Prismacolor pencils. You can still see original color through the transparent pigment of polychromos, but you can increase your shading to dip. You can dip your shadows. With Arteza it doesn't work like this. On some of the papers I can do it, but on some types of paper polychromos glide over Arteza and don't work at all. So I discovered that if you want to darken one of Arteza pencils, you need to do underpaint. I use black, I put shading first and then I cover it with Arteza. I used it some on this picture, this trick, when I colored Merlin. I did shading first with black, some of the areas where I wanted to have dark color, and then on top of black I applied Mediterranean blue to create gradient from very dark, almost black blue, to a less intense blue, and it worked. I am not so happy for now with the set of pastel Arteza pencils, which I got just a week ago probably. I did video with my first opinion with the swatching of them. First of all, I am totally not happy with this flimsy cardstock box. I don't have for them for now any pencil case, and when I will be able to purchase it I don't know, so they have to stay in this card box, and I have to be very careful because they are moving inside. I need to think something for these pencils. I don't want to ruin them before I actually started to use them. I already used a couple of the light green shades and light beige pencils. I'm still not happy how they blend with all other pencils, professional Arteza included, but between themselves they blend quite nice. So if I need to do some light blue shades or sand colors, I can use these pencils. Of course, I will continue my experiments, and after some time maybe I will have more advanced opinion about these Arteza pencils. For now I just started to discover them. What can I say as a final word about Arteza? If you see nice price for these pencils, and indeed they quite often have discounts, I would recommend to have this set. They are soft, they are bright, pigmented. The only quality problem I have is that some of the names and numbers, they started to disappear. Sometimes it's not very important here, especially on the greens. Yeah, you can see some of the letters, but it's tiny problem with quality. Not, of course, it's not optimal, but maybe we need to cover them with the varnish, something like this. But that's what I discovered, that after a relatively quick time those names and numbers, they started to disappear. Good thing that I already learned shades of the pencils, and now I can find necessary color even when letters and numbers disappeared. Well, now I think that we will move to Star Joy pencils, another budget brand. Next I have Star Joy pencils, and I must, to be honest, I purchased them again because of all the hype on coloring YouTube. I saw a couple of videos where they were advertised like budget polychromos pencils, that they are something wonderful, and of course I was curious how it's possible for such a low price, and when I purchased them, indeed they were very cheap. How it's possible to have such a wonderful magical pencils. I have it's a first version of them. You probably know that they have long story. That was the first version, then it was again huge hype that they were advertised like oil based, and they started to be not very oil based, and after that, together with YouTube bloggers, they created second version, but definitely I don't think that I will be purchased the new one. So I got the box, I did my swatches, and what can I say? They are normal, regular, cheap budget pencils. Not bad. not perfect, just regular pencils, and definitely they are nothing like polychromos pencils, so I don't know why they were advertised by some of the bloggers in such way. When your expectations they were high, you of course you could be slightly disappointed in these pencils, but I was quite realistic that it's not possible to create 120 pencils for probably $25, something like this, and to have quality similar to polychromos pencils. I tested them. They also were slightly water soluble when you apply water. They created waxy shining, very similar to many other wax based pencils, so they are definitely not oil based. But for average person, for adult coloring, they can be nice set, just don't advertise them like second polychromos. Normal budget pencil for beginners, even for advanced colorists, when you need some pleasant colors but without complicated layering. So what do I love about Star Joy pencils? First of all, I love their pinks. A range of pinks, it's absolutely amazing. Pinks probably are not my favorite color to use, but here there pinks from peach colors to like regular pink, Barbie pink, more red pink colors, and their names: Jaipur pink, Bengal rose deep pink, absolute azalea pink, grenadine pink. Very pleasant. I absolutely love their names. So pink colors, beautiful. They also have quite a good range of yellow colors and some of the very nice greens. Couple of pencils I would even consider quite unique. I absolutely love this blue gray and I love this medium dark green. I love them and I use them quite often. They have colors similar to green gold in polychromos pencils indeed. Well, I would prefer to have a little bit more of pastel colors. They have this Naples yellow light and it's good. Cream also not bad, and those flash colors, but still I would love to have more lighter blue colors. Definitely they lack light blue colors. Oh, that's another one which I do love, this light ink blue. You can switch it with Prismacolor lilac probably, so this one is also very good. I would love to have more of such pastel colors in this set. White doesn't work as a highlighter for all those pencils, so you can't get a lighter shade by mixing white with all those intense colors. What they do lack, at least for me, I don't like their brown colors. They all are more warm reddish brown shades and like regular light amber, dark amber, they don't have them. So brown, they need to work on this range. Maybe in their later edition, I think that they changed colors, they changed almost everything, but I don't think that I would purchase them. You can see that they are only slightly used. It's not because I dislike them. No, they are normal. I have nothing against them. Maybe they are a little bit unusual for me to hold. They are too thin. Comparing to my other pencils, maybe it's a little bit less comfortable. And of course, all those similar problems with all Chinese budget pencils, that you can apply only a couple of layers, that you can't blend them as smooth as Prismacolors, and you have to think about paper, because on the smooth paper again they feel very waxy. That's probably why I don't use them very often, but I think that I need to use them because they deserve to be used. As I said, if you name them like regular Chinese budget pencils, they are good. If you name them second polychromos, of course, person would be disappointed. And I think that when I used them, I got quite nice results. At least I was happy. Here I did this peacock, and I think flowers also. Their blue colors, they are really nice. I especially love all those teal, cypress green, cobalt, turquoise green. Indeed, shades are similar to polychromos. Behavior not so much, but very nice, pleasant range of these colors. So I used it here in Botanicum by Trolle. Here I struggled a little bit in Creative Heaven because here paper is probably a little bit more plain and smooth, and there you can see some of them visible pencil strokes. Maybe it's because I press hard on the pencils, maybe because I'm not very patient to do proper layering, so I can't say that in Creative Heaven they are best choice, definitely not. But on paper with more tools, they behave better. For example, here in Lady Spring, when I did this page, I used all the properties of their amazing pink shades, and I do love how they behaved. And finally, I think another page which I can show made with these pencils, it was in Fairies in Dreamland. Here I used their yellow and orange colors, so everything apart from the background I did with Star Choice. I think that one of the reasons why I abandoned them, it's also because of the videos. When they changed their line and people start to got new pencils with new numbers and new names, people started to complain beneath my videos that they also have Star Joy but not the same pencils and they can't use my video. It's still not a problem, but when you have many sets, sometimes you need some push to switch from your regular, more convenient sets to less frequently used. But as I said, I don't have anything against this one. It's decent. Far from perfect, but decent, and I think that I need to test them more on various papers. I have better expectations from them on paper with more tools, and with their bright colors I think that maybe I need to print more of Tatiana Bagema books. They could be perfect for those bright mice pictures, so I have to think how to use them more often. Definitely I won't be purchasing another set of Star Choice. Maybe I can't promise anything, but it's definitely not in my plans. But I promise that I will try to use this set more frequently, and I hope that some of these pencils, they can be implemented. Another color which I really love, it's this Terra Verde. I don't think that I have any similar pencil in any other set, so they indeed have some pleasant colors. This Terra Verde, medium dark green, and this blue gray. These pencils I would even purchase the second time. Well, what to show you next? Maybe Castle Art pencils. From Castle Art I have this botanical set which I got from Johanna Basford together with her Vault book. Sorry, I forgot. I colored it for such a long time ago that I forgot. It's not Vault within Vaults. Well, anyway, I got it in the package from Johanna Basford, and Castle Art pastel tints I purchased myself. My first impression from Castle Art wasn't very pleasant. First of all, I know that it's my problem, but I simply can't color with such a small set. When I have 150 Prismacolors, I simply can't explain myself why I need to limit myself to 24. So that's why I don't use it quite often, and I don't go with my pencils anywhere for sketching, for travel coloring, where such set can be helpful. Selection of colors is pleasant, and I think that the only pencils I used here were a couple of greens. I think that I used them in my Huge Flowers book. I need to color it once again. That's a good thing that I remembered about that book. And a couple of brown colors. Well, for me, they are nothing special. The same Chinese pencils, not a bad pigmentation, waxy feeling, couple of layers maximum. So I decided that that was a good reason to realize that I definitely don't need a huge 120 set of Castle Arts, which is so highly advertised on Amazon. I don't know what about their oil-based pencils. I'm not sure that I want to purchase them for testing, because this set, I think that I need to put it somewhere closer and to use at least some of the shades, like this light lavender or those cream colors, which I can switch from for my more precious like cream Prismacolor. If I need to apply just one layer, I can easily use some of this one. I have to think how I can use them like a substitute for my more precious colors when I don't need more complicated coloring. At least maybe this burnt umber, I always run out of dark brown colors. So I will try to think how I can use them, because I don't like when my pencils just sit on the shelf or inside of the table without any usage. So, Castle Arts. I was sure that I don't need any Castle Arts pencils until I saw this beauty. And yes, you can sell me pretty anything if it's wrapped or packaged in a nice way. And of course, with such a beautiful cover on the box, I realized that I absolutely need this tin and pencils inside. And what can I say? They are actually better, at least for me, in feeling comparing to this one. Maybe that's because I do love their shades. They are similar to this Arteza, and if you don't care about package price for Arteza, when I purchased this one, it was much lower comparing to this one. So with the similarity of colors, probably Arteza pastels is more reasonable purchase. But with the beauty and with the convenience of storage, I still prefer my Castle Art pastel tints. For me, they have the same feeling as Arteza. They blend slightly better with other brands comparing to Arteza. I try to use them more often and to substitute them with Prismacolor pencils, because my powder blue, my pale sage, my beige sienna from Prismacolor, they are first to finish. And here we can have substitutes for such colors. Maybe not as good as blending, because they are slightly harder and more waxy, less creamy. But still, if you need just one simple layer, or if you can get gradient from these pencils, combining lighter and darker beige, for example, then these pencils, they are definitely not bad. I think that I have a big problem that when I color something, I stick to one brand. If I decided that I will do page from the book, I select one brand, and I quite rare go to mix pencils from different blends. Maybe that's because I'm lazy, maybe because it's more convenient to grab one big set of pencils. And such smaller sets, they are sitting on my shelf and they are less frequently used. It's not a good thing, but I hope that if I have more free time, or maybe I would be more comfortable with combining various sets by testing pencils, what I can use not from Prismacolors or Polychromos, but from this set, to use them from time to time. These pencils, they are not bad both for smooth and on more toothy paper, but of course on the toothy paper it's easier to blend and to layer. So in the Um, and I also think that I used them on mythographic series. They also were not bad, but again, couple of layers maximum. Maybe one day I will purchase also Brett Funner pastel pencils, and in such a way I will finish my comparison between pastel colors, and maybe finally I will be happy and I feel that it's enough to purchase all those pastel colors. I think that my other problem is that I rarely color the whole page with such light pastel colors. I prefer to use these light colors together with some intense and strong colors, and quite often to use them as blenders. And unfortunately, even if shades are similar to Prismacolor light colors, these pencils and Arteza pastels, they don't work as well as Prismacolors for blending and highlighting, working and mixing together with intense colors. So that's why I definitely have to stop purchasing pastel colors, and I have to accept that the effect I love to get from light colors I can get only from Prismas, and maybe sometimes it's more wise to purchase Prisma colors in light shades individually. Well, this said, still I love it and I definitely intend to use it more. With this one I will try to grab most popular colors like dark brown, like blue, and I will try to use them somehow. And now we will talk 5 minutes about luminance. I have 3 pencils. Yeah, I know that it's not much, but even from these 3 pencils, I can say that that's exactly what I love in pencils. I love how they work on the paper. If you look at them, you can say that they are all white, but no, I have one white, one is white rose, and white is titanium buff, and all of them I use as a blenders when I do a fair skin tone. I can do skin tone with polychromos pencils. That's for me my favorite set when I need to do portrait, but quite often on the light step I still prefer to blend everything to smooth and to get rid of the visible pencil strokes or borders between colors. Previously, I used for such purposes my Derwent drawing in light sienna color when I did a fair skin. And recently I realized that luminance work even better. Even when you do portrait on very thin cheap paper like I had in Coco Vayo Goddess's book, when you use this one on the last layer, it really do magic, at least for me. It did help me to smooth, to get rid of the white spots on the paper, on the uneven coverage. So that's definitely pencils which I love. I don't know. For now, I don't have any plans to invest in pencils, but maybe some of the colors which I can similarly use as a blenders for darker skin tones, I could consider purchase individually. Anyway, that's definitely set of pencils which are absolutely for my way of coloring, for my taste, their colors, their blending, layering, their softness. So luminance are definitely in my future plans. I hope that this video wasn't very stupid and wasn't very boring. I will have another video with the remaining sets of my pencils. I just need to gather them among all the shelves, boxes where I store them, because there I have sets which I don't use very frequently. And we will talk about Kohinoor, about Mitsubishi, about Black Widow, and some other sets which I still have in my stash. And after that, maybe I will continue to film about my paints. Anyway, thank you. And if you have opinion about newest Starjoy pencils and about Castle Art oil-based pencils, I definitely will be very happy to hear your opinion. Thank you, and until the next videos.